Hello and welcome back to Smoking Hot. I'm Brian Keltner. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to have a Traeger smoked corned beef and slaw sandwich. That's going to be good. Come on, let's have some good time. Pour yourself a beverage of choice and let's enjoy some cooking. Now, if you're like me, you don't let a good sale go to waste. So this was store-bought corned beef where it's already been soaking in all the juices. I washed it off to get all of that excess on the outside, pat it dry, and then went ahead and added the Traeger dry rub to it before I put it on the smoker. And we got the smoker set. We're going to super smoke this for about 4 hours at a temperature of 165, and I'm going to probe that to about 130. And that took me on this slice about 4 hours. I'll pull it out. Going to go ahead and do a double wrap. So wrapping it up from the bottom, then fold in your sides, and then fold it back over. Now you'll notice that once I do this, and this is important for a double wrap, is I'll spin it around so it wraps in reverse for the second wrap. That's really going to hold in everything just nice and tight. This is the way I learned to do it. It's worked for me, and I would highly recommend just spinning that around before you do that second wrap. It's so worth it. And then once we get that on the wrap, we're going to put it back on the barbecue, set the temperature up to about 350 till we get that probe to 204, and that took about 2 hours. Now I put it in a bag to catch all the juices while I left it wrapped. You could put it in the freezer, pull it out, refrigerate when you're ready to cut, and that's exactly what I did. Let it get a little bit cold. It's easier to chop that way. Just fire it up. I will save the juices because I'm going to, after I cut this, going to add those juices back to it, and that's just more of that yummy flavor. It's going to be great. So I catch the juices, unwrap it, chill it a little bit so it's easier to cut, and then pour those juices back in. It's just going to be so damn good. Now this is a much older machine, but it still works. It gives me a thin slice, not as thin as I like it, but it's still going to be good enough for getting these sandwiches just yum. So if I could do it thinner, I surely would. Now as you expect, I did sample some of this, and let me tell you, this is fantastic. We are ready to rock and roll. So there we go. We're ready for our nice sandwich. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be lovely? Oh, hell no, son. Cold sandwich? Not on my watch. If that's what you were thinking, you could put your hush puppies on and ease on down the road. Come on. Now at this point, I've already added the juices back into the meat. Let it sit in there, and then what I'm going to do is go ahead and take some of this air out and bring it on over. I have a sous vide all set up. Hot water works fine for this. It's already cooked. We're just warming it back up. But I'm going to sit this into the water. The temperature is set at 151. And I'm going to let it go in there for about a half hour. And that's going to warm up the meat and all the juices. Let it soak back in. Get it all just dripping delicious. So again, I leave this in for about a half hour at this point. Now we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to pull this out and get our sandwich on. So what I have here is going to be some toasted rye, sandwich pickles, Swiss cheese, a little bit of Russian dressing for the rye, and some coleslaw of your choice. Add this all together. The meat is fantastic. Oh, Now, the first person that complains about this sandwich being all messy gets kicked off the channel. Because let me tell you, we're not about being neat and clean. We're about having some fun and loving some great tasting food. And let me tell you, take a look at this sandwich. Oh, and it tastes even better than it looks, let me tell you.